discussing some of your introduction and paragraphs and understanding how to write a good argument and what makes a good argument. And we will be, everyone's now joining, and we'll be starting with Hamad's work. So Hamad, do you mind?
Good morning, Mr. Anthony.
Good morning. Good morning, guys. Thank you for everyone that's just joined us now. We have just started the recording. And Hamad, do you mind reading your work for us? And I'll pull up your work. Is that okay? If we break down your introduction and paragraph?
How do I do that?
I will pull it up on the screen and then you just read it for us.
Oh, no problem.
Okay, can you see the screen?
Yes.
I might try and make it bigger. Let's have a look if I can. I'll save it. How do I make you bigger?
Here,
download it to your computer. Download it to your computer and use.
It's a picture.
Yeah. Download it and use the gallery, the computer gallery.
Does that should be good? Can you see? Can you read this with me now?
Yes. Sorry. Coronavirus disease COVID-19 is a dangerous disease for old people and maybe young people also. The disease spreads quickly between the people. Coronavirus is harming the world.
Okay.
This is the introduction, and now the paragraph 1. Coronavirus is harming the world. Most people infected with the COVID-19 virus will experience mild to moderate respiratory illness and recover without requiring special treatment. Older people and those with underlying medical problems like cardiovascular disease, diabetes, chronic respiratory disease, and cancer are more likely to develop serious illness according to the World Health Organization.
Very, very good. Very good reading. I'm very impressed. Let us break down your argument. Yahya, do you have a question?
yes, I just wanted to say that that he gave his evidence from the World Health Organization. So it is a good thing that he brought up a strong evidence from.
Yeah.
I will trust in website.
Yes, he's used a very good reference here. The World Health Organization to
because it's a medical thing.
Yeah, because it's a medical article. Well, it's a medical information. So let's break down the introduction. Coronavirus disease, COVID-19, is a dangerous disease for old people and maybe young people. Also, disease spreads quickly between the people. Coronavirus is harming the world. So we will obviously be talking about how coronavirus is a bad thing. However, we need to make it arguable. So we need to sort of introduce some language that's arguable, because it's okay to just state that it's a disease.
I think again, Hamad is making, if we consider coronavirus is harming the world as the main idea here, this is again a very broad thing to talk about. For example, and if you have chosen it as a different genre of writing, because this sounds to me like a definition paragraph rather than an argument or that contains a topic that we are going to discuss. Isn't it, Mr. Anthony?
Yes, it sounds a little bit more
a definition paragraph.
Definition of what COVID-19 is.
Yeah.
Now, in the introduction, we want to make points towards...
Make a claim, yeah.
You
or even choose a scope. You haven't chosen a scope, and if you consider
To make it
harming the
arguable.
world as a scope here, this is very general, very broad.
So
You see?
let's look at ways that we can change or add information to make this more arguable for the reader, because we know that it's going to be talking about negative things. However, we want to remember the argumentative essay will be supporting our claim and then one opposing our claim.
Yeah, all right. We can say that coronavirus could be one of the most deadly diseases that has ever, for example,
Yes.
hate humanity. Yeah. So you are making an assumption and you're trying to
Make
how
it
do you like
arguable.
this? Yeah.
Let's
And you
let
can
us do
even
that
say
then.
you can claim since you are claiming it's the most deadly diseases that has ever, or the most difficult challenge that's gonna face humanity.
So we could add something like what you said before is, what was it? What did you say?
Harming
before again,
the
Mr. Omar?
world. The first one is the most deadly diseases. Could be the most deadly diseases.
Could be, yeah, could be. So that's very
Could be,
good.
yeah.
It could be, because it keeps the
It's arguable.
not clear, you know. So you need to read more. Could be arguable. There we go. Could be one of the most deadliest diseases known to man.
And also, I have something to say.
Yes.
For example, this paragraph is talking about a negative thing. So we can put a positive thing about the COVID-19. For example, the use of the cars are getting down, so less gas will be used and stuff like that.
Very good. Very good. So you could put something positive in there.
Some people say our Earth is breathing again.
Yeah.
All right, but let's just review the topic sentence that you have had here, Mr. Anthony. So we can say coronavirus is could be the deadliest disease right away. How about this? Could be the deadliest.
Yeah. Could be one of the most deadliest diseases.
Could be the deadliest right away, so that we make it arguable.
Yeah, the deadliest disease
known to man.
Known to man.
Without one of that. How about this?
Yeah, that sounds like a good way to introduce.
Because it's not yet, but we are predicting it to be like this. And this is, yes, you said no. You see, that's what I'm talking about. So that means it's a claim, right, Aziz?
No, but you say it is the deadliest.
If you say no, that means I've made a claim and I need to support it.
But Mr. the Black Plague was far more deadly than coronavirus.
So, for example, I might say based on the current pace of, for example, death cases, you can say the number will reach blah, 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 which exceeds, for example, the Spanish flu and the plague that hit Europe in blah, 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 blah. Yeah, you can have this argument.
Yeah, and if it was that deadly or one of the deadliest, then there will be a lot of people recovered from it.
Yeah, right. This might be a counter argument. Yeah.
So,
yes.
So you can have many different viewpoints. You know, that's why it's good to keep the topic sentence more arguable than just stating that it's the most
and not too narrow and not too broad.
Yes. So we can make some small changes because we also want to lead the reader, guide the reader to what other paragraphs we'll be talking about, because I'm only asking for an introduction and a paragraph 1, and paragraph 1.
Yeah. Oh, for
Mr. I
this
have a
kind
question.
of article, Mr. Anthony, I don't see any harm in starting or for example, giving starting during in the introduction or
Mhm.
after the introduction, I start with the definition paragraph. It's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's okay to start with the definition paragraph and then move on to support your argument.
Yes.
So having a definition, the definition of the disease at the beginning of the article is okay, as long as you're gonna discuss your point later on. You got it,
Right.
Sir,
Hamid?
I
So-
have a question.
What? Yes.
What does broad mean?
Abdulaziz. Broad means like a wide, or would you like to have a look?
I think we have an intruder here, Mr. Anthony. Don't admit him.
Okay.
Have you admitted him?
No. I don't think so.
No.
Yes, he got in. What? Who is it?
I removed him. I
Ryan.
removed him.
No, he is Ryan, mister.
Are you sure?
Yes, I told him to join.
That's why his name
Can you ask him to use his right name, please?
Okay.
All right. So, Faisal, Mu'taz, Omar,
What
Saleh,
is-
Saud, Adil.
So what's the definition of space? Out of space.
So there's quite a lot of uses for the word broad. In this context,
I think it's obvious in this context.
Yeah, it's too big. I mean, broad, like too wide or too big. Like I can't. You
Yeah,
can't
number
cover.
two.
You can't cover it in the scope of one paragraph or even one essay.
Yeah,
Article.
Mister, he can't
far
join.
wide.
He said I can't join.
Yes,
He said
because
that
he's
he is kicked.
yes, because he's not really using his real name.
Tell him to
Ask him.
rename himself.
Ask him to use his real name.
Mister, because you kicked him, he can join in.
Yes,
Okay,
he can't
okay.
join back.
Even if he changed the name.
No. I allow those who are removed to join again.
okay. So yeah, broad in this context is spacious, and spacious is a word that means large, or large and open, large or magnificent in scale. Okay, so that's the definition of broad. Okay, so let's continue. I really enjoyed that he's used some credible evidence and
Yeah.
to support his claim. So he's used the word. Someone stated that before. He's used the World Health Organization.
Yeah.
Let's have a look again. So make this larger. Why? So coronavirus is harming the world. We need this shouldn't be a capital. Most people infected with the COVID-19 virus will experience mild to moderate respiratory illness.
Mr. Anthony, sorry to interrupt, but I'm gonna be busy sort out Ryan for a minute, okay?
No problem.
So I'll work on sorting out Ryan's entrance.
Very good. So guys, let me continue with the reading. Coronavirus will experience mild to moderate respiratory illness and recover without requiring special treatment. Older people and those with underlying medical problems like cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and chronic respiratory disease and cancer are more likely to develop serious illness. So this is a very, very good point, because that's, a perfect explanation of who is getting infected or who is it harming, and how it's harming. So, however, the way that I would introduce this evidence would be According to the World Health Organization, I would have this before we have older people. So I would start by saying, according to the World Health Organization, older people, and that's how I would place this information at the start of in between. This is where I would put according to the World Health Organization, and maybe the year 2020, because this is from this year. But this is a very, very good research material because it's credible. Now, using Wikipedia is not credible because anyone can make changes. So it's important.
Yes, anyone can put his studies in it.
Yeah, very good. So it should be done by
Actually,
evidence that's
the most place you trust to put medical information. It's the World Health Organization.
From the internet.
Yeah, because you know that there's a lot of fake news out there, and it's very important to look for
because the World Health
information that
represents the health of the world. So
yeah, I mean anyone can.
So yeah.
Yes,
and,
most of them. Yes, very good. Most of the medical research
information comes from
this. But this is very, very good. The only thing is, we need to work on is making this the claim arguable. So this is probably a better way to make it arguable, because could be, and then we're going to explain why. However, you might say something on the lines of saying positive, because we want to have, something opposing your opinion. So you might have two body paragraphs that support that it's the most deadliest, and then the last one might be saying, well, it is the most deadliest. However, it is a deadly disease. However, the world has seen some positive positive situations occur from the health of the environment.
I understand what you meant. You want me to use some kind of vocabulary that some people can argue me about, so the article or the claim will be arguable.
Exactly. That's exactly what we're trying to do. So we want to make it the reader question maybe what you have, and then give him the reasons that support your claim. So this evidence is perfect that support why it is a disease that spreads so quickly and affects old people and people with health issues. So, but you've done a very, very good job. Does anyone else want to comment or have some information they'd like to add to this?
I have one.
Okay.
Not the ones that have, for example, respiratory disease, they get the virus to be more dangerous. There is also another disease which is asthma. This disease, how can I say it makes your lungs weaker. So
yes.
The COVID-19 will come easier to the body.
Yeah, so you can
because I myself have asthma, so that's why I wanted to.
Well, that's the thing. If you have so this word here he's used in this research material, underlying medical problems or issues. So your asthma would be an underlying medical issue, because underlying means people might think, a lot of people might think that they're healthy, but if they have some asthma that could easily affect this disease, would have more chance of
you and have more chance of you.
Maybe more than maybe someone in your class who does not have asthma. So you could explain this, and you could argue that you could argue that point that people need to be more people that have underlying health issues like asthma or whatever other health problem, that they need to be extra careful. There's many topics you could go, directions you could go with your paragraphs, depending. But you should state, your introduction should state a summary of each topic sentence that you, body paragraph and topic sentence that you'll use. So good. So who else has anyone else sent me their homework? I just want to ask, has anyone else sent me? Because what we're going to do is Sunday, I want to be reading more of your work. So again, you can choose.
Sir, I didn't quite understand the introduction paragraph.
So the introduction paragraph. So let me show you a video, guys. So get prepared to watch a video and then we'll discuss. Okay, so I will share my sound, share computer sound.
So far in this series, we have covered planning and paragraphing. We're now going to look at how to write an effective introduction and conclusion. Let's start with the introduction. First, consider what the main issue is and why do we care. Try using a formula to write your introduction. Use BAM. This will really give your introduction some impact. Background. This is how you engage your reader. Use a fact, quotation, or rhetorical question. This will hook your reader.
The rhetorical question, guys. Do you know what a rhetorical question is?
A question that doesn't have an answer.
Very good, Abdulaziz. So you could use a question in your introduction that say that could coronavirus be the most deadliest disease to happen in our lifetime or in history? Question mark.
Say yes or no.
Yeah,
Yes, there is an answer for that. It could be.
Well, it could be, but you're not expected to answer. But it's a good way to put in a question.
It doesn't have a clear answer.
Yeah. So this structure BAM is a good way to a good way how you should organize your. Let's continue reading, but just wanted to point out that a rhetorical question in your introduction is a good term to use. You could use a interesting quote because you want to hook the reader. Now, hook. You guys know what a hook is?
Yeah.
Make it engaging or engage the reader.
Well, what do you use a hook when you go fishing for?
To catch fish.
To get the fish.
Yeah, to catch the fish. So with
You want
in
to
a
catch
right,
the reader.
you want to catch. Yeah, exactly. You want to catch the reader's attention. So you want to make it. You want to make it, exciting straight away. As soon as because sometimes, you read something and you think, oh, this is boring, and then you put it down. So something interesting and straight away, catch.
Let the reader be with you and
Yeah.
agree with you.
Yeah, very, very good. So let's continue reading, listening.
Remember, an examiner might be marking several essays at once, so you want yours to stand out. We've used a fact here. A rhetorical question is your most likely choice in an exam.
Heart transplants, improve roads, or arrest criminals. In a society that expects education to serve useful purposes, the functions of history can seem more difficult to define. So he's using a fact here. They've used a fact here, and it's very broad. It's not very specific, so it keeps it open.
Argument. This is a brief explanation of your opinion. This is a thesis statement that you put together in the second video. Main points. This is where you explain what you'll do in your essay. Your main points.
So this section here, guys, is the thesis statement. Now, the thesis statement is your main points that you're going to be discussing. The main points that you'll be discussing. So, for example, history is very useful in shaping our understanding of ourselves. So, the first body paragraph will be something on those lines about talking about how history is useful in shaping or understanding ourselves. The second body paragraph would be other people and the wider community, even though some people believe that this knowledge is outdated. So this is arguable again. This might be supporting his claim and this might be opposing his claim. So he's only having two points here. However, this is his thesis statement that is used in his introduction and might be restated again in the conclusion.
Main points. This is where you explain what you'll do in your essay. Your main points will be the basis of your 3 topic sentences in your body paragraphs.
His main points are found in the theses. So we've got understanding ourselves might be in body paragraph 1. That's the general positive or supporting idea. Wider community, and then the second, and then some people believe that this knowledge is outdated, meaning old or not useful anymore. So that would be his opposing.
In different words. Now, let's move on to the conclusion.
Yeah. But see how they've set up their introduction. They have so we have coronavirus, and then you might explain that, and then have a topic sentence and explain it a little bit further. And then you might say 3 different things that you'll be talking about. The first one might be, like we said, coronavirus.
Mr. Anthony, sorry to interrupt, but I couldn't sort Ryan out. You have more on your computer screen, right? Can you click it and see if there is a choice, an option that says allow removed participants, because it doesn't show here on my computer.
More.
Yeah.
Wait, need a break. I've got allow participants.
Is there a choice, an option, or an option that says allow removed participant to join again?
It just says allow participants to rename themselves, allow participants to mute themselves, mute participants on entry, play/enter exit, enable waiting room, off meeting.
Mister, maybe it's the enter exit skip.
I don't know. Okay, I'm so sorry, but we'll tell him, Muhammad, that he's gonna have to watch the video again, and I'm gonna try.
I think, Mister, you banned him, not kicked him.
Can we invite?
No, I only removed him. I didn't ban. I only removed. Okay.
I think he's removed forever. He can join this.
Sorry about that. Maybe he can use a different email. Okay, continue, Mr. Anthony. Sorry to interrupt.
So, yeah, so this is a thesis statement. History is very useful in shaping our understandings of ourselves. So this is his first point. Other people in the wider community, that is his second point. And his third point, even though some people believe that this knowledge is outdated. So he's saying 2 positive things. Understanding ourselves, it's positive. Other people in the wider community, also positive, but then his counterpoint, which would be his last paragraph, some people believe that this knowledge is outdated. So, but let's go back. So BAM, we should have a fact or quotation or rhetorical question at the start, just to hook the reader.
Marking several essays at one of your main points.
Which includes these main points. Let me quickly show you.
Now we're going to write the thesis statement and topic sentences and learn how to structure a paragraph properly. Now, let's look closer at your thesis statement. Your thesis statement is made up of your opinion and 3 main ideas that illustrate this. We put the thesis statement in the introduction so the reader knows straight away what the writer's opinion is and what will be explored in the essay. It's important to have a strong structure when you build a house. An essay is the same. Without a good thesis statement and topic sentences that answer the question, the argument could collapse. You need a clear thesis statement which tells the reader what the essay is about. Keep your thesis as specific as you can. It also needs to be arguable, so make sure it's not too broad or general. It should refer to the 3 points you're going to make in your body paragraphs. 3 points you're going to make in your body paragraphs.
Today's lesson, I want us to think about what we're going to write in our introduction. Now, Sunday's class, we're going to be reading every single person's introduction. So I want the introductions to be sent to me to if you need any corrections, and you can choose any topic you want. Please think about this thesis statement, and I'll send this video. This thesis statement has to be arguable, so your point needs to be arguable. So like we said before, could coronavirus be the deadliest disease in our lifetime or in ever to exist? So it's a very arguable point. Instead of just stating your opinion, you need to state it, but keep it arguable, specific and clear. Okay.
Let's move on to paragraphing.
Don't worry about having to write paragraph 1. What we'll do is we will just work on having a very, very good introduction. Okay, guys? So, Hamad, you'll have to work on changing your introduction to include the points that you'll be discussing in your body paragraphs. So you'll have to change your you can keep some of your information as long as you explain that you will be talking about this in your introduction.
Change it to be arguable.
Yes. So guys, you don't have to talk about. You can talk about anything you like, anything that interests you at all. I know that, and it doesn't have to be something that's happening now with this coronavirus. It can be anything that you like or enjoy. But I want you guys to do this. It's easier for me to mark if you, not mark, to give you feedback if it's on a Word document. And I want us to read every single person's introduction for next class. It doesn't, and don't be afraid, because we're just all here to give our opinion.
Mister, so can you give details in the introduction or no?
You can give, you don't want to give lots of details. You just want to sort of summarize what you'll be talking about later on. You just summarize.
So it's a summarization.
Yeah, it's sort of like a little summary of
trailer.
No, Aziz, introduction, like you introducing your topic. You prepare your reader for what you are going to talk next, and it should include your thesis statement.
Mister,
like you said, you saw in the video.
Like the paragraph is a movie, and the introduction is the trailer for the movie.
Yeah, you can look at it.
No, the trailer is the conclusion, not the introduction.
No, not the conclusion.
Yeah, because a trailer summarizes the whole thing.
No, the trailer gives you exciting things, so you could see the paragraph.
I don't know if this comparison is valid or not.
Whatever, okay.
You both have arguable points. That's very good. You need to keep your reader, I mean, the point of this argumentative style of writing, it needs to be arguable. So you don't want to just state your opinion and then that's it. You need to you need to keep the reader sort of interested, but also understand that once we do the other paragraphs, you have done your research to help the reader know that you understand both opinions, the supporting ideas and the negative, the opposing ideas. So guys, I really want you guys to work, and it's not difficult. Just spend half on thinking about it now, and the next few days work on it so that on Sunday we can have a discussion. And then it'll be interesting because, you know, your opinions might change. You know, the introduction is like a guide that what you'll be talking about, but you know, you might have your opinions change after we all discuss your introduction together. So please send me your work so that we can discuss together, and it'll make the writing class more enjoyable if we are discussing everyone's opinions, because one person's opinion is different to everyone else's. Let's ask Mr. Omar, is
Yes,
that
sir.
okay if we do continue with writing on Sunday?
Yeah, it's okay. Don't see why not.
And
Can I leave?
we are almost finished. I think we're almost finished, Aziz. I just want to make a point. Send me your information by word. It's hard for me to make changes if it's a picture. So send me a Word document, and then I can easily pull them up and we can discuss them together. Okay, guys. So I hope you guys, if you guys need any help or any questions, feel free to message myself or Mr. Omar, and we will get back to you and discuss and enjoy. I think Sunday will be an enjoyable lesson.
Yeah, it is. I'm gonna end the recording now. Any questions?
Yeah,
Can
thank
you
you,
rate the
Mr.
class? Can you
Thank
rate the
you,
class
Mr.
before
Omar.
you leave?
Thank you,
Can you
Mr. Anti.
rate the class
Bye.
before you leave,
A
please?
very enjoyable.